Hey everybody, can you hear me okay? Cool. All right. I'm Rick Bosworth. I'm with SentinelOne, and today we're going to be talking a little bit about how we can address ransomware through the power of AI and automation. Okay. IT support. We need to get the present. Thank you. Okay, newsflash, image scanning is not enough to protect your cloud workloads. I think everyone here would agree with that. Don't get me wrong, image scanning is good hygiene. It's like brushing your teeth, but brushing your teeth alone is not enough. And don't take my word for it. First of all, look around, see the vibrant ecosystems of security providers here today. If image scanning was enough, then 3 out of 4 images running in production would not be having critical or high severity vulnerabilities. Something's wrong. Image scanning is great, but to me, what this tells me, when innovation and security come head to head, innovation's going to win. So we need to pursue a multi-layered cloud defense in depth strategy. So before I leave image scanning, some easy wins here. Please do scan your images. Don't misunderstand what I'm saying. I'm not advocating to not do that. Please do also use trusted repositories, and please do not stop there. Image scanning is your first step. So let's talk a little bit about cloud defense in depth. What am I talking about here? So first of all, the image scanning that we just covered on the second slide. Identity and access management. Please guard your privileged accounts like your business depends on it, because quite frankly, it could. The threat of insiders, misuse, compromised credentials. Guard those privileged accounts, and then we're going to talk about logging a little bit later. You want to certainly log usage of those privileged accounts. Please use role-based access control. Define roles according to the principle of least privileges. Configuration security. Part of this presentation is about the value of automation. In fact, a large part of the presentation is. Automation is good. It provides for consistency, high quality, repeatability. So please do revision control on your infrastructure as code. Thirdly, you can architect your cloud-native workloads for security. AWS have a vibrant set of not technology, certainly solutions, but also documentation, the well-architected framework. I'd encourage you all to dive into that. Please do log, as I mentioned, and make sure that your log data is persistent outside of the place where your workloads are running. And then finally, my customers tell me that Cloud EDR is their last line of defense. Though that's their words, not mine. Also their words is that it gives them the confidence to move forward quickly with knowing that should they make a misconfiguration, should the vulnerable image make it to production, that EDR has their back. And EDR is using automation and AI to defend your cloud workloads. And automated response is happening in milliseconds at machine speed. Okay, so the threat of ransomware. It's sad to say, but according to IBM Security's research, 146% increase in Linux ransomware variants year on year. So we all know that the cloud is built on Linux. And so here are a couple blog posts that our colleagues at SentinelOne and our research group have posted. One back from the summer of 2021, and then more recently on how our cloud workloads are being attacked. First, ransomware. Ransomware is the second largest attack type. Dark radiation was written entirely in Bash, I believe targeting CentOS and Debian Linux. Ransomware as a service has really lowered the barrier of entry for bad actors. Now, script kiddies with little more than internet connection can devastate your business without any real skills to speak of. And ransomware is second only to crypto mining malware as a threat to your workloads. Crypto miners, you probably already know, it's a neat trick where bad actors come in. And there's academic research out there that says 25%, they'll typically cap it at 25% of your CPU capacity, to try to slip in under your radar. They keep the crypto coin that they mine, you get to keep the surprise bill. Not good, great for them, not so good for you. So what can we do about this? How can AI and automation help? There are two types of AI. We have static AI, which will these are machine learning models that will look in at the file structure, examine it for entropy, opcode histograms, the like. It can learn to distinguish good from bad, like any machine learning model. But behavioral AI adds another element, and that's time. If this happens, followed by this, then that. And you can begin to raise the alarm bells and take prescriptive action based upon the policies that you set. Either fully automated response action, no human intervention required, or if you want the response to be automated via a one-click intervention, you can do that as well. So AI, the behavioral AI, over time, will learn how programs are supposed to behave. So SentinelOne, we're obviously an AWS partner. We have AWS security competency. You can find us in the marketplace. Singularity Cloud is our innovative EDR solution for cloud workloads. I will not bore you with all the details here because I don't want to make this a marketing pitch. But if you're interested in operational efficiency, it's easy to deploy. Our agent is very robust and efficient, fits into most DevOps provisioning processes. It's going to provide you that visibility into your cloud workloads in the same console that you're using to manage your endpoint security. And then automation, that powerful SecOps. We're making your SecOps team more productive. And you know, as we're talking about the difficulty to hire security talent with the right skills and then having to pay them, you know, one thing I always like to say to prospects is happy, productive employees rarely churn. And so just keep that in mind as you're looking into your next solution. Is it easy to use? Is it helping my security team be more productive? So with that, to the stage, I would like to welcome our special guest speaker. Lorenzo Modesto is the Chief Executive Officer of sixpillars.io. Lorenzo, please come.
Hey, mate.
Awesome.
How's it going?
So glad you're here.
Pleasure.
Hey, so could you tell the audience a little bit about Six Pillars?
Sure. So Six Pillars is an AWS Level 1 MSSP. We basically automate everything that can be automated. We do infrastructure automation, so we're basically automating infrastructure best practice in AWS from the infrastructure out. So if you can think about SentinelOne, do the automation from the outside and the XDR in, and we do it from the infrastructure out. So all of the stuff that we were talking about, best practice in the keynote address, which is, you know, don't have your public S3 bucket open. We will ensure that it isn't, but we will ensure that it isn't on a continuous basis. So what that does is it opens up the door to continuous compliance, not just compliance with international standards or best practice, but then also it opens up the door to effective, comprehensive anti-ransomware protection. Or I'll correct myself on that. If we protect ourselves against anti-ransomware, it's like protecting ourselves against anti-terrorism. So
right.
it's ransomware protection.
There you go.
But yeah, that's
cool.
We've got a unique perspective because we're also a customer and partner of both AWS and also of SentinelOne.
So you had a lot of choices, speaking of customer and partner.
Absolutely.
What drew you to AWS and what drew you to SentinelOne?
Sure. So we basically, we needed the best cloud platform, because without that consistent platform of cloud services, of however many hundred cloud services AWS have at the moment, without that you can't drive automation. And automation is, we're not there now, and you'll see there's a fair bit of automation around the room, but there is so much more that needs to be leveraged in terms of automation, because it will be the only way. You can train whoever you want, you can have graduate programs, you're going to need to automate it. And so get to best practice, but then if you leverage automation, you will ratchet up as ever more. That's in terms of AWS. In terms of SentinelOne, it was basically, again, looking for the best in terms of XDR, in terms of endpoint protection, and also in terms of automation, endpoint automation.
Outstanding, and you're too kind, thank you. What would you say are the key determining factors for successfully defending against ransomware in the cloud?
Sure. So the starting point is try to mitigate the human factor. And yes, there will be a common thread here, which is, what is the best way to mitigate the human factor? It is to automate. And you'll hear me say that once or twice.
Maybe.
But essentially, it's about mitigating the human factor. And the reason why, the data shows that more than 60% of cloud security issues are as a result of misconfiguration. That's a Gartner stat. Whether that goes up or down, we don't know, but it clearly shows that it's opening the door to don't do it manually. Do it maybe once, but then leverage the automation to keep you at that point, at that security posture, and ratchet you up.
Yeah, I would agree with that and build on it by saying I would go so far as to say put my IAC templates under revision control.
Absolutely.
And make sure those are as managed as rigorously as my images.
Yep.
What are some steps customers can take today to mitigate their ransomware risk?
You know what I'm going to say, don't you?
Yeah, automation.
That's right. But it's really about, I can't say it enough, that at least from our point of view, and yes, we're not talking about building it into the CI/CD pipeline, but obviously that is, that's really where it starts. But in terms of infrastructure best practice, once you have the automation all the way through, then what you've achieved is automated best practice from the infrastructure out. And then if you couple that with something like, obviously, SentinelOne from the outside in, you have that protection from the outside in.
And so when you say the outside in, you're referring to the EDR hooking into the OS processes.
Correct.
Okay,
Yep.
thank you. Since adopting SentinelOne for your workloads that are running on AWS, do you have any comments on security outcomes that you would like to share?
Sure. I mean, look, it's about, automation is not only about achieving and maintaining best practice, because obviously automation can also be used and is used to deploy these solutions. And these are the best, so the speed at which you can deploy now a completely automated end-to-end solution for anti-ransomware protection, including infrastructure all the way to endpoint protection, that can be achieved in under a day. From flag drop to fully configured, ready to roll, it's done. To deploy an inferior cobbled together solution manually would traditionally take, I'm going to comfortably say, months.
Yeah, that's where I was going, months as well. So this morning we announced a press release with our integration with AWS's Elastic Disaster Recovery Service.
Yep.
What benefits do you expect customers to accrue, and why is this critical to 6 pillars and the success of your customers?
Sure. I mean, look, if you think about it, so we view ransomware, and specifically ransomware protection, in terms of protect, detect, and then the final most important backstop is recover. So protection is about automation from inside out and from outside in. Detection is if there is a departure from best practice and or if there is malware or other issues that are detected through the excellent AI that SentinelOne delivers, then they are remediated, they are detected as quickly as possible and they're alerted on, as well as being remediated in an automated manner. Now the backstop is recovery. So there will unfortunately always be the possibility, and over time, unfortunately, that possibility potentially turns into a reality of critical mass of credentials and or permissions that is given away. And let's not always blame Karen in finance, that's fine. But it can happen, and literally if it is, then what you absolutely need is consistent, reliable, and integrated backups, and SentinelOne for DRS is a perfect example of being able to now have not only the endpoint protection, but then to extend that to then allow a user in the SentinelOne console to actually be able to not only isolate an instance, an EC2 instance, and soon to be on-prem instances, but then to isolate those and then to recover them and to choose the RPO, so the recovery point objective, to choose which particular RPO to recover to. Then it's simply a matter of it can then be rolled back into the environment, a new environment can be created, but the point is that recovery is the final step, and it is an absolutely crucial step in ransomware protection.
Outstanding. Lorenzo, I want to thank you for your business and your partnership. I really appreciate that. We would like to invite you all to come to the SentinelOne booth. We will be doing demonstrations. I'll tease something that we are announcing tomorrow. Watch the press release. But if you want to see what I'm talking about, not only can we demonstrate our integration with 6pillars.io as well as AWS's Elastic ransomware recovery service. Thank you. We got another thing to show you, so please come by the booth. We also are doing a raffle. So thank you for your time.
Thank you.